Children development. Child development stages. Hello. Welcome to the Digitized Education of Parents for Children Protection training module. My name is Elif Körpe and I am one of the researchers of this project. In this video, first of all, the developmental processes of the child will be discussed in general. Then, the stages of sexual development will be included. And finally, suggestions will be made to families and parents to support their children's sexual development. Development is the whole of biological, cognitive, socio-emotional, and sexual processes. Therefore, the development of the child is multifaceted. Biological and physical development is related to changes in the child's body such as brain development, length, weight, movement skills, hormonal changes. Cognitive development is concerned with the processes such as making meaningful sentences, remembering a poem, solving a math problem, and involves changes in child's thinking, intelligence, and language. Socio-emotional development includes the change in the child's relationship with other people, the change in his or her emotions and personality. Sexual development, on the other hand, includes processes such as starting the process of discovery of one's own sexual identity and gender, managing sexual impulses, and respect to self and others in a non-prejudiced and positive way. Healthy development means that children of all abilities, including those with special needs, are able to thrive where their social, emotional, and educational needs are met. Having a safe and loving home and spending time with family are very important. Proper nutrition, exercise, and sleep can also make a big difference. It is also important to know the features of different developmental periods with specific milestones and needs. Infants, first year of age. Milestones. In the first year, children learn to focus their vision, reach out, explore, and learn about the things around them. They listen to, understand, and begin to pronounce the names of the people and the things. During this stage, children also develop bonds of love and trust with their parents and others as part of social and emotional development. Parent tips. Children find their parents' voices calming. Talking, reading, and singing help children feeling safe and stimulate language learning. Taking time for cuddling and holding a baby will help him or her feel cared for. Taking care of oneself physically, mentally, and emotionally is basic to gain energy to be a good parent. Toddlers, from 1 to 2 years of age. Milestones. During the second year, toddlers increase their exploration of people and objects, therefore, they move around more and gain awareness of themselves and their surroundings. They begin to show greater independence and deficient behavior, recognize themselves in pictures or a mirror, and imitate behaviors of others, especially adults and older children. Their language is increasing, from the pronunciation of single words to the first very simple phrases. The pretend play emerges in their interactions with caregivers. Parent tips. Encourage the child's growing independence by letting him or her help with dressing or feeding himself or herself. It is preferable to respond to wanted behaviors more than punish unwanted behaviors, remembering to tell or show the child what he or she should do instead. Encourage the toddler's curiosity and ability to recognize common objects in daily activities. Toddlers from 2 to 3 years of age. Milestones. This stage is often called the terrible twos. Difficulties listening and angry outbursts are quite normal in this period. However, this can be an exciting time for parents and toddlers. Toddlers grow in their abilities to follow 2 or 3 step directions, sort objects by shape and color, imitate adults and playmates, and express a wide range of emotions, including self-conscious emotions like pride and shame. This is a turning point in children's awareness of having a self. Parent tips. It is important to give the child attention and praise when he or she follows instructions and shows positive behavior, and limits attention for defiant behavior like tantrums. Parents who label a toddler's emotions such as "you are really upset about that" can coach him or her to manage disappointment without lashing out. Preschoolers from 3 to 5 years of age. Milestones. In early childhood, the world opens up and children begin to focus more on adults and children outside of the family. During this stage, children should be able to ride a tricycle, use safety scissors, help to dress and undress themselves, recall part of a story. They are also able to understand that other people can have different perspectives from their own. Children transfer pretending with caregivers to pretending with peers. Collaborative pretend play emerges. Parent tips. It is critical to be clear and consistent when disciplining a child, explaining and showing the expected behavior. Giving a limited number of simple choices, for example, deciding what to wear, when to play, and what to eat for snack, is a useful strategy too. Encouraging socialization with other children helps the child to learn the value of sharing and friendship. Middle childhood, from 6 to 8 years of age. Milestones. By this time, children's independence from family becomes more important. School brings children into regular contact with the larger world. Friendships and being accepted by peers become more and more important. Mental skills develop quickly. Children become adept at rehearsals, selective attention, and inhibiting their immediate responses. Parent tips. Parents' affection and recognition of children's accomplishments, as well as helping them to set their own achievable goals, are critical for their developing self-esteem and self-efficiency. It is preferable to use discipline to guide and protect the child rather than punishment to make him or her feel bad about himself or herself. Clear rules should be shared and followed. Middle childhood, from 9 to 11 years of age. Milestones. Having friends, especially for the same sex, is really important at this age, but peer pressure can become strong. Children who feel good about themselves are more able to resist negative peer pressure and make better choices for themselves. Also, physical changes of puberty might be showing by now, especially for girls. Image and eating problems sometimes start around this age. Parent tips. Spending time with children, talking with them, and being interested in their scholastic and extra-scholastic life increase their self-confidence. In this period, it is important to help the child develop his or her own sense of right and wrong and responsibility. It is not too early to talk with him or her about risky things friends might pressure him or her to do, like smoking or dangerous physical dares. Young teens from 12 to 14 years of age. Milestones. Hormones change as puberty begins. Most boys grow facial and pubic hair and their voices deepen. Most girls grow pubic hair and breasts and start their period. They might be worried about these changes and how they are looked at by others. Therefore, they may experience some moodiness, sometimes might seem rude or short-tempered, and generally express less affection towards parents. At this age, being able to complex thought, teens make more of their own choices about friends, sports, studying, and school. Parent tips. A good balance between independence and guidance is basic. For example, help your teen make healthy choices while encouraging him or her to make his or her own decisions. It is important that young teens know parents are listening to them and respect their opinions and feelings. When there is a conflict, it is important to be clear about goals and expectations, as well as allowing the teen input on how to reach those goals. Teenagers from 15 to 17 years of age. Milestones. Most girls will be physically mature by now and most will have completed puberty. Boys might still be maturing physically during this time. Concerns about body shape and size and eating disorders can be common, especially among girls. They have a deeper capacity for caring and sharing and for more interest in romantic relationships and sexuality. They generally go through less conflict with parents. Relationships with friends are still important, yet teenagers have other interests as they develop a more clear sense of self. Parent tips. This is an important period for parents to create opportunities for teenagers to use their own judgment and be available for advice and support. It is very important to talk with a teen about his or her concerns, pay attention to any changes in his or her behavior, and seek professional help if necessary. Talking with teens about planning ahead for a difficult or uncomfortable situations, like what to do if they are in a group and someone is using drugs or under pressure to have sex, is very helpful to prevent risk behaviors. Sexual development. Infancy, from 0 to 2 years. The learning of infants during this period takes place by establishing relationships with the individuals who provide their care. The most important feature of this period is the development of basic trust. The baby at this age learns about his or her body through touch and is able to examine his or her genitals. As there may be some reactions that occur spontaneously during this period and are similar to signs of sexual arousals such as erections, they cannot be characterized as sexual behavior. First childhood, from 2 to 6 years old. During this period, children develop words that describe the genitals in their own way. distinguish both sexes, and get simple information about how people are formed, like we came out our mother's belly, etc. They may engage in masturbatory behavior, they may play sexual games, they may be curious about their peers, curious about showing their genitals to each other, they may be curious about seeing the genitals of adults. In infancy and in early childhood, children do not have a problem with their own nudity or efforts to hide their nudity. The following are the points that adults can pay attention to in order to support healthy sexual development in infancy and early childhood. Use the right terms when talking about any part of the body in infancy. If it is in the first childhood, encourage them to express their sexual organ names using the correct terms. For example, be a model about being comfortable to touch by hugging or embracing the child to the extent that it does not bother the child. When the opportunity arises, without causing embarrassments in child, give them simple and brief information about personal boundaries. For example, when bathing a child, or when she or he himself herself brings up the topic expressing the privacy of his or her body in simple language when he or she asks a question. When the opportunity arises, inform the children about the appropriate and inappropriate touch. Raise awareness of the importance of privacy when using the bathroom or toilet. Give the child the opportunity to protect the privacy of his or her own nudity. Answer children's questions, for example, about anatomical differences, sexual intercourse, and reproduction in clear, honest, and simple language. Avoid reacting to the feeling of shame caused by child sexual touch to himself or herself. Emphasize that they should do this if they want to do, when they are alone on their own.
The parent-child relationship regarding sexual matters usually begins with the child's questions and behaviors. Here are some tips that can help parents in this context. Sexual games. You enter your 4-year-old's room and see that they are playing doctor with her friend Jennifer. For example, your son may be taking off his clothes and Jennifer may be listening to his heart with a toy stethoscope, or they may be doing sexual activities together. How would you react in this situation? First, wear your clothes now. I don't want to see you like this again. What the child understands? Children are bad, but they may repeat behaviors that parents do not want to see in sacred places. Second option. Jennifer, put on your clothes quickly and go home immediately. What does child understand? Jennifer is bad and it is her fault. Third option. Okay, you have been wondering about each other. Now get your clothes on. I'm going to show you some pictures of the human body. What the child understands? Curiosity is a normal thing. Parents are guaranteed to answer these questions. Fourth option. I don't want you to touch each other's bodies. Bodies are private. When you play, I ask you not to take off your clothes. Here, what the child understands. Nudity and touch are private, and the parent informs the children about the limits of the games. Fifth option. Another possible response is to ignore. In such a situation, what the child understands? The child cannot learn anything. These games may or may not continue to play. If I don't react verbally, my attitude alone is enough as a message. Masturbation. Let's think. Your 5-year-old daughter or son is watching TV or playing with his or her genitals before going to sleep. What reaction will give the message I want? First option. Get your hands off that right now and never touch it again. In this situation, what the child understands? It is wrong to touch the vagina or penis. Second option. Stop, and then you will go crazy. What the child understands? Masturbation will hurt you. Third option. Stop it and go wash your hands immediately, now. What does the child understand? Masturbation is dirty. Fourth option. To attract the child's attention to other activities. In this situation, what does the child understand? The child stops this behavior for the moment. The child cannot learn anything. Fifth option. I know you like it, but you should not do it in front of people. In this situation, what the child understands? Masturbation is normal, but you should do it in private. Sixth option. Another possible response is to ignore it. What the child understands? The child cannot learn anything. These games may or may not continue to play. If I don't react verbally, my attitude alone is enough as a message. Where did I come from? When your child asks questions like, where was I born? Am I adopted? How did I get out of your body? How are babies made? Let's check the possible answers. Child. Where did I come from? Parent. Where do you think you came from? Child. I don't know. My friend Jennifer knows how babies are made, but she doesn't tell me. Parent. Well, babies grow in a special place inside the mother's body. Child. How was the baby there? Parent. Mom and dad made it with a small ovum from mom's body and a sperm from dad's body. Simple, short, clear, and honest conversations like these will pique the child's curiosity. As the child gets older, the questions may continue, and it may be necessary to give more detailed answers. First years of primary education, from 6 to 9 years. During this period, the child's sex drive is hidden. The child leaves behind the sexual impulses of previous years and directs his or her thoughts to school activities and plays with his or her friends.
School age period, from 9 to 12 years. During this period, some changes occur in human body and hormones. Children in this period feel very uneasy about their bodies, and they do not want anyone to see their bodies naked. If the child's curiosity is satisfied by answering questions about sexuality in the first childhood period, his or her curiosity about sexual matters decreases in this period. If the child's questions about sexuality are not answered in the early childhood, his or her interest in sexual matters may increase, and his or her mind may become more complicated with the wrong information he or she may hear from his or her friends. During this period, girls began to acquire more feminine features, and boys begin to acquire more masculine features. Neither gender likes to be compared to the other. Using the expressions like "you are like a boy" to girls and "you are like a girl" to boys is not correct and can cause great reactions. To support healthy sexual development during this period, adults should do the following. Children's privacy should be respected. One should not especially make fun of the appearance of children. You should inform your children to treat other people's boundaries and privacy with respect. Inform children about how to protect themselves from abusive behavior from others, and how they treat others will be abusive behavior. In order to talk about such issues, it should be avoided to corner the child. The child should be giving a message that he or she can talk to him or her about everything in a way that respects his or her privacy. Children should be informed in advance about the rapid changes that will occur in their bodies. If children have a prior knowledge about their own development, they will prepare themselves for the physiological changes in their body, both cognitively, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. Effective communication and healthy adult relationships that children can take as models should be demonstrated. Adolescence, from 12 to 18 years. Adolescence is defined as a transitional period between childhood and adulthood in which many biological and social changes occur. In this period, physical development forms the basis of social, emotional, mental development and maturity. During this period, the child begins to realize that there is a connection between his or her genital organs and his or her emotions. Experiencing romantic relationships with other children happens in this period. Children in this period need healthy parent and adult guidance. Respecting adolescents' privacy, adults and parents should reflect that they are sincere to answer all their questions. Another duty of adults is to reflect that they have certain limits without putting this age group under pressure. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope to meet in another video soon.